We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source for combat sports. I'm your host, Al the Postmaster Morrow, and today, as you can tell, it's a bit of a different video. I'm kind of dressed up in my night clothes, and I'm basically going to be putting my entire collection back and sorting it, because if you've been following the social media pages, you know that I unfortunately had one of my shelves completely collapse and take the other shelves with it, knocking my entire collection on the floor. Don't worry, they're boxing gloves, MMA gloves, and things that are meant to get destroyed to a certain extent. You're supposed to smash things with them. So everything's fine, nothing got damaged, nothing got creased, everything, trust me, I checked it all while I was pulling it down. But I figured a cool video would be primarily because my friend Dom, he told me to shout him out. So my friend Dom, who's also a local fighter where I live, said you should make a video of you putting all your gloves away, make it like a fast thing, like one of those time pass things, and then stop the video in certain spots when you find gloves that mean something to you and tell people why. So you'll see virtually every single thing in my collection, including everything in my gym bag, because I want to make sure everything that I own is on these shelves at the end of the day. So my goal is, because I usually don't organize things I usually do it by brand as best as I can, and then I'll do like a favorites rack and stuff like that. But what I want to do today is try and get as close to like a shelf full of my favorite brands and stuff like that in certain spots, and like organize them by brand, and then probably by style or by color. So like if I have a bunch of tie gloves, I'll make a tie glove shelf or something like that. And then if I have, say, Cleto Reyes, if I have enough to make a shelf out of that, I'll make a Cleto Reyes shelf. So these shelves are from Walmart. I got them for like 20, I think they're 20 or 30 bucks each. And they're like basically this cheap like plastic joints and like tin or something. I wouldn't say tin, aluminum type of rods, and they work pretty well. They do the job. They're 10 by 5 as far as gloves can fit, so 5 fit that way. There's 10 shelves going down to the floor. The issue is all the weight started pushing this way, so my dad with his skills, because I don't know the first thing about carpentry or anything about handyman stuff, is he came over with some screws. Well, I had shoes. He came over with some washers and he said, let's just use a tag line to the wall. And so what we did is we basically took some zip ties, wrapped it around these, screwed some stuff into walls, and now these things aren't going anywhere. So these shouldn't bend or bow anymore. But with that said, I guess there's nothing more to do than to start hustling around and putting some gloves away. And I guess we'll stop with everything that means something to me, like Dom wanted me to do. So with that said, guys, I guess we'll start out by doing the middle row, because that's the row that you guys see most common when I record my videos, and I kind of want some of my favorites to be in front of me. So with that said, folks, enjoy the speed up and enjoy the time. You're going to see virtually every glove and every piece of equipment that I own. See you in a couple minutes. So we're stopping pretty soon into this. Actually, guys, if you go back to the very first video, it was an unboxing and review of the Hayabusa T3 Captain America training gloves. They're still holding up well. I always get asked to do re-reviews. Really, the only thing that ever was wrong with these is that there's a little tiny fray at the top now for stitching, but I think this is a really good place to start. I think it's funny that the first glove that I saw for this video is the first one that I did that started this whole journey 4 years ago already. Wow. And we're at 6.25 subscribers already, which is absolutely insane. So I guess let's start with the Hayabusa shelf, and I want you guys to see one of the first ones I ever reviewed. My head usually sits about here, so we'll start this move off with a bang, and we'll put that right there. Let's find other Hayabusa gloves. One thing I am noticing though, because these are a little tight to the wall now, that the gloves will stick out a bit. So I'm hoping that the ones underneath and on top don't like rub against each other, but I think I can push them in a little bit more. Yeah, and the idea is you don't want these to like smush the padding in, but this is the first row. If you guys really want to know what the rows are, I guess I'll stop and do that. Hayabusa T3, Captain America, Hayabusa T3D to be reviewed. Not impressed with them so far. T3D Kentucky. These are actually the LX, and then we got the, I don't think they make this anymore. These are the soft ones, and then these are the pro boxing ones, which were a big letdown. But let's move on to another brand. Let's see what we can find. All right, so we got to start with these gloves that have been through me for the last part of my amateur boxing run, and then every single one of my amateur MMA fights. The Cleto Reyes hook and loop training gloves. This is when the tiger orange color came out. That would have been in 2016 or 17 because I was a freshman or a sophomore in college at the time. So about 6 years I've had these. So yeah, and they've been through me with everything, every struggle of my life. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone to these gloves, which is why if someone ever asked me what my favorite glove ever was, it was these. I think it's just because when I was younger, the very first pair of training gloves I ever had was a dark green pair of Cleto Reyes that my boxing coach gave me, and unfortunately I was a knucklehead. My basement flooded when I grew up where my heavy bag was, and I had these on the floor, and they were ruined, and it sucked. I gotta see if I can find a picture of me using those, but I'm gonna put Reyes on the shelf above Hayabusa, and thank you for all your service, my friend. When I retire these gloves, you might actually see me cry. So let's find some more Reyes gloves. So these aren't going to be on the shelves. I mean, these are going to be on the shelves, not on the Reyes shelf, but basically these are the Sweet Science lace-up gloves, and this was actually one of my very first pair of lace-up gloves that I had outside of those Reyes that I talked about. I got these my sophomore year of high school, and they're still going strong. They're 14 ounces. I was a little lighter back in the day, and then on top of it, the guy from Sweet Science actually said that this would be a good idea to try. I got these from Fight Tips back in the day, actually. So I looked at Fight Tips and what gloves he used, and he said Sweet Science was some of the best. I love these gloves. I still use them primarily for mitt and pad work now because sparring in them, I mean for MMA sparring, I guess they wouldn't hurt. But I really try and preserve these because they look really cool and they perform really well. So we're going to have to find a cool place to put these because they are definitely a cool glove, and I love that metallic blue. This is like the very first fancy pair of gloves I guess you could say I had. There's one more Reyes glove I'm looking for, so let's find it. Alright, so the Reyes shelf is done and in order without pulling them out. We got the Cleto Reyes hook and loop training gloves, lace-up training gloves, extra padding, the Hero double loop, and the high precision. So now we got 2 shelves done just for one. Oh man, this is gonna take a minute. But I see my next brand already because I think I have enough to make a shelf, and that is the All Day Hit and Move training gloves. I'm really excited for the Hit and Move All Day training gloves. So I'm excited to review these. These are new ones. I loaned a pair to my friend and I haven't got them back yet. So I'm gonna have to hound him down for those. But let's see if I can fill a shelf up with these. Oh, and also before I put these up, I have the bags that go with them, but I'm not putting the bags on these because I'm probably going to take them out and use them again tomorrow. So let's start out with those. Okay, like I said, a friend and teammate of mine has a pair of these on loan right now. So I should have 5 because I have the original agility, then I have the balance, the updated agility, the fight gloves, and then the super 1.5 all days, the heavy training gloves. They're 1.5 pounds with no extra bolt to the glove, which is why I love those. Hit and Move honestly is becoming one of my favorite brands ever, and honestly their gloves are really high on my top 5 list right now. But I tell you what, my next shelf I think is going to be Everlast because the bulk of the Everlast gloves are in front of me. So let's see where we're going to do that. I don't want them in the middle. I want them to be at the top somewhere else. So we're going to leave this spot up here blank for the Hit and Move gloves for when I get them back. So let's move on to Everlast. You know, I'm thinking about it only on the second glove with Everlast. I think I might have more than just 1 shelf worth of Everlast gloves, but hey, we'll find out, I guess. We'll keep them in close proximity of each other. That way we know where we're going with them, I guess. But Alright, so I think as far as Everlast goes, that's it. We got Powerlock, Powerlock 2, MX, Elite Training, MX2, the worst glove ever. Then we have the Protex 3 regular, Protex 3 gels. So let's go ahead and continue on. And I've seen a bunch of these, so we're going to go ahead and move into Top Boxer. And actually, funny story, Top Boxer is the brand that inspired me to start the channel because I saw someone review the Goku gloves and I immediately bought them and I said, I think I can give a good review on these. So let's start a shelf for Top Boxer. And we're going to start it over here at the top here. You know, they're Top Boxers, so they go towards the top. So another memory with gloves I have are these custom Top Boxer aliens, and these are the Patrick and SpongeBob ones that I made. I thought this was a cool design. It was because Top Boxer reached out to me really on the infancy of my channel before I even had 1,000 reviews, and they said that they liked my review of their gear and they wanted to sponsor the channel around Christmas time one year, and basically it was like 10% off all orders if you use my code, which is absolutely cool. So they were my first non-paid sponsor, and I guess you could say they paid me because they gave me a huge discount to customize these, and they I wanted them to sell them in like a limited edition thing, but they said no because they were 2 separate colored gloves and it would cost a bit more to make them and stuff, which I completely get. But these definitely hold a special place in my heart because they were the first pair of gloves that the first brand that ever actually sponsored the channel. Okay, to my memory, that's all my Top Boxer gloves. So we got Win 1 Goku, 1 in Velcro, 1 in Lace Up, Top Boxer. They used to be called the Floors, now they're called the Classic. Custom Aliens, Win 1, 22 ounces, the Infinity Gauntlet, and then we have the 2 Classics that are both 16 ounces, 1 in Velcro, 1 in Lace Up. 1 is the original model made by them. But now, I think we're getting to the point where, well, I do see a brand actually that I love very much. Let's go on to Ringside. And these gloves have been around for a very, very long time with me. I got these, this is my second pair of these actually. My first pair I gave to a kid at the gym that needed them. But this was like my first super cool pair of boxing gloves that I ever got. My limited edition, even though they've been limited edition for about 12 years now. But I got these when I was a sophomore in high school. But these are my second model that I bought about 2 years ago. So they're not quite as new anymore. But we're also going to get to the point now where a lot of the brands will match each other, but I won't probably stop as much because I do kind of want to try and see if I can get this done, but we'll stop with the gloves that mean stuff. So for now, I might just start adding stuff, not just by brand, but I'll need to fill in the spots of different things. So maybe in that case, when that happens, unlike the hit and move one, because I do have a 5th glove that I just need back, I think what we'll do basically, guys, is whatever empty hole is, we'll save for the end, and we'll put gloves that are similar to them right in that slot. But for now, let's start with Ringside. We'll start them here because they're a really big boxing brand. We'll put them underneath Everlast, okay? So let's get going. Okay, so as far as gloves go for Ringside, I think that's all I have right now. So let's see, we got the Ringside IMF Tech Limited Edition America, Ringside Omega, Heritage Lace Up, Heritage Velcro, Ringside Apex Flash, one of my favorite gloves ever. They work for everybody. Ringside Bullet, which is another great beginner glove, and then also the Ringside Gel Shock, which is a pretty good glove as well. So we'll fill in those holes when we get there. But now I want to do kind of like a bit of a favorites rack like I was talking about. I'm going to go ahead and see a glove that I see from way over yonder here. And that is by Venom. Actually, I'm shocked because Venom stuff for me usually doesn't last that long. In this case, these have lasted quite a long time. These are the Venom. I was using them recently, so they got the lacing loop on them. These are the Venom Lomachenko hammer models. So you know what? We're going to do a favorite rack underneath my Hayabusa rack. And I guess we'll just start putting stuff in different places. As far as like my favorites go, I do tend to separate them from the brand associated with. Oh, here's another one. Salvador HF. Love these gloves as well. Let's find my Bryant Boxings, because I absolutely love Bryant Boxing. They make awesome stuff. And here are the Chads. And then I saw the Mansa Musas as well in their bag. Boom. So let's put the Chads here. So this is telling you guys kind of, it's not in order, but these are some of my favorites. You guys always ask me, what are my favorites? You got a few right here, and I found them that quick. And I got room for one more. That's a tough one. Let's see. I guess if I had to pick, I see the Onyx over here. I did a second. There it is. See the bag. We'll put the Onyx X Factor. Boom. Right here. And we'll do that. So for a quote favorite shelf, I guess we could say, we got the Loma hammers by Venom, Salvador HF lace-up training gloves, Bryant Boxing Chads, and Bryant Boxing Mansa Musa's. Coolest glove I own as far as look goes, I'd say the Mansa Musa's. I love the metallic gold. Then the Onyx X Factor training gloves. Super good. Trevor Whitman is indeed a genius. So now let's start moving on to other brands. I see Rival. Let's move to Rival. Rival shelf will be this. RFX Guerrero bag mitts. These are the IntelliShock. These are the RB10s, RB2s, RS1 V2, and RS11 V sparring gloves. There's so many numbers and letters to remember, folks. Sometimes I have a hard time with it, but I'm doing it just for you. Let's move on to some more stuff. So what I'm going to do actually is the shelf above this, I have 3 Sabas gloves. So I'm actually going to take the Sabas gloves and put them in the 3 empty spaces I have. So for those, I have the Bella Super Soft and the Pro Series. As you can see here, Super Soft Bella Pro Series right there. I just need to find the other glove for all of them. And I found one. All right, so let's find the others. Oh, bro. Alright, so my Sanibel gloves that I own are the Sanibel Gold Strike White. You can get them in white and black. The Sanibel Lab series, which I'm going to do a review on soon. Just haven't gotten around to it, though I have recorded them. And then the Sanibel Essential Gels, probably the best beginner glove for the cheapest price. They're only about 20 to 22 bucks, and I recommend anyone that's just giving it a try, if you don't want to spend more than that, get those. Okay, next I guess we'll move on to Mexican made stuff, like purely Mexican made stuff. So I got a couple new sporting gloves and some Grants here that I will put on the ringside shelf, I guess we'll do. Because Grant actually used to be sold on ringside, so that might work. Okay, so the gloves that I have on this rack now are the Grant Standard Training Gloves and Lace-Up. New Sporting Velcro, New Sporting Lace-Up. The New Sporting, the Lace-Ups are a little bit older, so they have a little bit different of a logo, but they are virtually the same exact thing. And honestly, guys, from what I understand, they used to be the same people that made Grant. So if someone were to ask me, are they the same as Grant? Basically, yeah, if not for me, better. So, New Sporting review coming out soon. Alright, next I guess what we'll do underneath the rivals, I'm going to make a Japanese boxing glove shelf. Ones that are specifically trying to go after winning. So of course we're going to start the shelf out with winning. And then I already see what I'm going to go into. The Superior Boxing winning style training gloves. So let's start that out. Alright, so for my Japanese pillow style gloves, I went with the winning MS600s, Superior Boxing winning style, Superior Boxing super safeties. Then I went with the 2 heavy hitter gloves that I have because they are super soft. They're definitely different from winning, but there were 2 of them and it worked out really well on that shelf. So we're going to go ahead and stick with that. Okay, let's make a tie shelf, and we're going to start with the Fairtex BGV ones. Jesus Christ! Where's the other BGV9? That's all I need is BGV9. Where the f is the other BGV9? Okay, so turns out I have quite a few tie gloves. Starting this way down, I do have these Everlast tie gloves. However, I'm going to put the worst stuff on one shelf at the bottom because I'll probably never touch them. I thought these sucked. I don't know why they're so much different from the regular boxing version, but I don't like them. But let's go ahead and go through the Muay Thai gloves we have here. Fairtex BGV1, BGV9, F-Day, limited edition, that's been out for years. Twins special, oh Jesus, I'm not going to do the number, but I just reviewed them, go watch it. Yo Cow Monsters, Combat Corner, we got the HMIT Mexican style, HMIT regular, Windy Super Safety, Windy Heavy Hitters, Windy Traditional, Dacia Training Gloves, Booster Training Gloves, Boone Training Gloves review coming soon. Triumph United limited edition Death Adder. Triumph United regular Death Adder. And then Top King, Snake, and World King, I think it was called. And those are both airs, I think that's what they're called. But we're going to leave this shelf alone for a minute because it is indeed, just a little full. And the other ones are not quite as full. So let's go into European made stuff, why don't we? So I just stumbled across these, and as you notice they have the YouTube channel's logo on it, and these were made by Phantom Boxing. They were one of the sponsors for the channel. I paid for everything they sent me, guys. Phantom Boxing, I don't know whatever happened to them or what it was. But I really appreciated them because it really felt like I helped design a glove really to my specifications in a lot of ways, which is why I absolutely still love these. I still use them a lot, but this is the El Kukui 2.0 training gloves. The 1.0 I didn't like quite as much, so we much to their credit made changes, but I haven't heard from them in a long time, and if you ever watch this, I hope you're doing well. But I'm going to put them below my favorite stuff here. Just so they can kind of be in the same vicinity, because they still are up there as some of my favorites that I use. They're definitely in my top 10. I also just forgot that I didn't go back to the European made stuff. We're actually making really good progress here, believe it or not. There's still some more European made things. To be honest with you, I don't know if it's part of Europe, which is why I'm not putting Engage up there. Pretty sure all their stuff is made in New Zealand. I'm ignorant, so I don't know if they're in Europe per se. They probably are, and I'm just an idiot. Someone correct me below. But when it comes to these European-made, Adidas is a British company, I believe. Or, well, really, they started out in Germany, but basically we got the Adidas. Those are what, the hybrid 600s, and then we have the Adidas hybrid 300 Patriot Edition. Fortress Boxing, super underrated glove in my opinion. This Fortress Super Strap 2.0 is amazing. We got that there. Those are London-based. Boxia, Italy, super underrated for me as well. And then also we have the Fly Super Loop X. Those are all British made except for British brands except for Boxia, which is obviously not. Oh, and another European brand, Leone, the 1910. So we'll put them next to the Flies here. So here's a throwback to an old school pair of custom gloves that I had made by UMA. And I don't know if you ever go back and watch C-Squared and Fit the Fox review these, but when I got these, I was so impressed. I still like these gloves quite a bit. Super good wrist support, knuckle protection's awesome. Super comfortable. I just don't know if UMA even exists anymore, so we're going to put them here under my favorites because I still like these gloves. Alright, as you see, I have taken a seat, and now we're going to go into the Superare series, and I have a bunch of them. These are the Superare Fry model gloves. I actually bought these for whatever reason. I thought they looked cool. Superare makes some pretty good stuff. It's virtually ringside gear with a tighter hand compartment for me, but I only live about 4 hours away from New York City, so anytime I go to the city, I mean, Superare at this point, I hope they know who I am, because every time I walk in there, I spend a good chunk of change. So let's go ahead and do the Superare shelf, starting with these. And then Evans Boxing, this dude on Instagram that followed us for a while. I never reviewed these, so Evans Boxing, I'm so sorry I'm a jerk, and I will review them soon, or I'll just send you the money for them. They were for a good cause. Okay, at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I've been at it for a little bit, trying to do the whole video thing and organizing it. I mean, at this point, I mean, there's a lot of assorted pieces of equipment. So I think the only big brand I really have left that I have multiple of would be Rev Gear. And I've reviewed one of Rev Gear's thing, two. I reviewed their MMA gloves. And we still got the MMA gloves to go into, folks. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to put these somewhere, but I just want to make a statement about Haymaker Boxing. I bought 2 or 3 pairs of gloves. I think 2. It was these that had like the custom thing on them, and I liked using them. They wore out pretty quick. All the paint, the metallic paint flaked off. This was like 4 years ago, maybe 3. And it was a Black Friday sale, so what I did is I bought these, and I bought a pair of black ones with gold and purple trim, and I paid for it all, and I never got the purple ones. I never got my money back, and when I emailed them, and still to this day, message them every so often about it, because they have to have it on record. I remember messaging the guy on Instagram, and I know they said they're under new management now, and I'm not trying to make an enemy. What I'm saying is, the way he approached it was super unprofessional. And it's just like, well, maybe it's because I got so many people messaging me on the emails and stuff like that. I don't have time to answer everyone's stupid Instagram requests. I'm like, hey, I didn't mean to upset you. I was just wondering if you got the order because it's been a while. I'll get to it. And I just never got anything from that. And unfortunately, I don't have the Instagram message anymore. Maybe they do. But no hard feelings on them. I I don't know if I want to review these because I guess they're under new ownership, and yeah, so I mean, that's Haymaker Boxing, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so here's another funny story about these gloves. Basically, Aqua Training Bag sponsors Cage Wars, which is the amateur promotion that I fought for. And they had a setup with all these other bags, and I went out there and they were like packing up, and I said, hey, what are the odds that I could buy those gloves? And they're like, take them. And they just gave them to me. They're like, just follow us on Instagram. And while we're at it, and they handed me one of their heavy bags, like the small ones. They're like, use it for yourself and post it on the Instagram page. I said, okay, so I did. So there's a funny memory about these. Here's a memory, guys. These are the Venom Crimson Red Giants, and these are super cool glove. And he never accepted them, but there was a guy, and I had a college boxing club that I started, and his name was Chris. He was a janitor in the wrestling, and like by the wrestling wing in the athletic building, because I wrestled in college. And he started my program at 323 pounds, and he got down to 215 pounds in 2 years. He lost that much weight, and I think he's lighter now last time I saw him. He said he was close to under 200 pounds for the first time since he was in high school. So yeah, these gloves he used throughout the whole thing, and I wanted to give them to him, and he said I won't accept them because they're yours. So Chris, if you ever wind up watching this, very proud of you, sir. So I know I already put all the Sandoval gloves up, but these gloves mean a lot to me. And you know, it's a shout out to my mom, and I know... Alright, so these gloves actually mean a lot to me. If I get choked up here, I'm sorry. Long story short, these are R2-D2 gloves by Sandoval. I already got all my Sandoval gloves up. But the way I'll describe it to you guys is my mom gave these to me for Christmas. And it was the first Christmas that she was able to really afford gifts by herself for a long time. My mom was very ill for a long time. And unfortunately, when my parents split, she had to basically restart her life all over again. And she looked at me, oh shit, I'm gonna cry. And said, I worked really hard so you can have these, and I haven't used them. So, because they mean a lot. So honestly, Mom, if you ever watch this, I'm going to put these off to the side and display them, because even if you don't remember, those mean a lot to me. So we're going to display those up in public, because those have a deeper meaning to them, because my mom worked her ass off for those. And, a lot of people wrote her off to do that. So, love you. Oh, these. Some people ask me why I don't like titles so much. Because they make gloves that try and replicate Winning or Reyes and all these other things and mark them under, but these just suck. I don't like them, and I wouldn't give them to too many people. These are the Fighting Furies, and I thought they would be kind of like Winning, but no, they're stiff, the padding's too hard, everything sucks about them, not a fan. And I know what people are going to say, well, will you sell them? No, because I'm a collector. I don't sell things. Sorry. Alright, folks, that's virtually all of the big gloves. All I got left is the bag mitts, my punch mitts, and then the fingerless MMA gloves, which I am now going to set up. So, bear with me, because I am running on fumes. Alright, so now we're going to do fingerless gloves, like MMA gloves and bag mitts, and then we're going to do punch mitts as well. I'm probably going to stack these on top of each other in a few spots, because that just kind of makes more sense to me. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with sparring gloves at the top. So I see a few here in front of me. So I guess I'll be back in a minute or two. Alright folks, after about an hour or two of just nitpicking where things were going to go, we got everything all organized and neat, and I like it that way. I'll give you a quick 360 around the room. So we'll start here, and let's see if I can get it all as best as I can. We'll start from the top. We can go all the way down there. So let me set this back up. I'm not gonna lie, the camera angle probably sucks, but to be honest guys, I am exhausted. It's like 1:30 in the morning right now, and I gotta go to work. I gotta be there at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. But yeah, you guys helped me put all this stuff away and shared some memories of these gloves along the way as well. I might honestly, because I'm a psychopath, start editing this and maybe post it by the end of tonight. So hopefully now that this is all good, they're tethered to the wall and like nothing's bending, nothing's moving forward at all, which is good. So thanks to my dad for helping me out there. And thanks for helping me organize everything, guys. Probably what I'm going to do now is, like I do every year, because people want to know how the collection's grown and stuff, we are going to probably make a small video. I'll use my phone like usual. It takes me longer and longer every year as my collection grows of all the gloves that I have in my collection, but these shelves are pretty much filled. To be honest, I know people want me to get new stuff, but I'm reviewing some of the stuff that I have, because as you can see, I have a lot of it that hasn't even been reviewed yet. I have like over 100 videos, and that doesn't touch the amount of gloves I have. So my camera's dying because it's been recording for non-stop for about 2 hours. I'm gonna plug the battery in, and I'm probably gonna start editing because, like I said, I just want to see where we're at. So with that said, folks, thank you for watching your source for combat sports. I've really appreciated your time. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Always message me on all my social media pages. And as always, I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.